The land teems with life and prosperity. Traders from distant lands, Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Kanuri, Efik, Tiv, Ibibio, Nupe, move along dirt paths and riverbanks, exchanging kola nuts, fine cloth, and gold. Children chase each other beneath mango trees, while elders recite stories of ancestors who shaped these lands. The kingdoms are bound by traditions, each with its own language, its own gods, its own festivals. Curiosity and caution blend in the eyes of the local chiefs as they greet these newcomers. The first exchanges are simple mirrors and guns for palm oil and ivory, but behind every smile, a question lingers. What do they truly want? The rivers that once brought unity now carry whispers of change. Missionaries, dressed in white, teach children to read and write in English, their voices soft yet persistent. Some youths listen, eager for knowledge, while others cling to the old ways. The chiefs receive treaties, papers they cannot read, gifts they do not trust, and Nijao chief studies the document, suspicion clouding his face.
This paper, what does it mean for my people?
A translator falters, shifting nervously. The translator lowers his gaze.
It means they will trade with us, that is all.
King Jaja of Opobo stands at the river bank. His robes immaculate, his eyes steely as he refuses the British monopoly. He is tricked, seized, and sent away, his people left to mourn on the muddy shores. In the north, the Sokoto Caliphate's minarets gleam in the harsh sun, unbowed but watched. Lord Frederick Lugard's shadow looms over maps marked with artificial lines. In the south, mission schools dot the coast, but in the north, English is kept distant, a tool of control. Children recite foreign words, their own names and histories sometimes fading. Old allies are separated by new borders. Strangers are forced together. Seeds of future quarrels quietly sown. Abea Okuta, woman leader, stands tall. Her wrapper vibrant, her voice unwavering.
We will not be silenced by foreign laws or foreign men.
In the east, over 10,000 women march, their defiance echoing across fields and rivers. Gunfire answers them, but their courage cannot be erased. The land remembers every sacrifice, every name shouted in anger and hope. Children gather at their elders' feet, listening to the stories of kings who stood tall, women who would not yield, and rivers that once ran free. The chains of the crown are heavy, but the spirit beneath them endures. The struggle and the hope for freedom are just beginning.